whips on the crowd, a massive basket.
3. You are kidding me.
And the fire burned brightest. Townsville are WNBL champions for the 4th time.
Round 8 of the Cygnett WNBL season continues in the Harbour City with a clash between two teams desperate to keep in touch with the top 4. The Sydney Flames come into tonight's game off the back of one of their most comprehensive performances of the season, thumping the Boomers by nearly 30 points just 2 nights ago. But how will they fare off the short turnaround against a Bendigo team starting to find its rhythm? On top of all that, the season split between these two clubs is on the line after Sydney took Game 1 and Bendigo claimed Game 2. It's high stakes in December for the Flames and the Spirit, so we're going to have a lot of fun watching it all unfold over the next 2 hours from the Quaycentre. Ben Waterworth with you, and a Merry Christmas to all our viewers around the world, alongside 12-time WNBL champion Carrie Graff. Hello, CG. It's set for a very fun night tonight.
It should be a fun one. As you say, series split is on the line. That always takes on an extra bit of focus and energy for both teams. Both of these teams, you know, looking to stay in touch with that top 4, and the split is going to go a long way should they find themselves into that top 4.
Only 2 nights ago, the Sydney Flames made a statement, 86-58 winners over the Melbourne Boomers, and Lauren Nicholson was absolutely integral to this victory.
Yeah, that she was. I mean, particularly in the third quarter, she lit it up. She stroked the 3-point shot. She put the ball on the deck for her pull-up jump shots that she's renowned for. She really made a statement in that championship third quarter.
And she's back in Sydney as well. And I feel like, Carrie, it's an extra motivation for her because she's playing in front of friends and family every week. She seems to be playing with a little bit more freedom this season.
Yeah, look, she's, I think it'd be fair to say at the moment with some injury, Tess Madgen out injured, big load on her shoulders to really carry this team, and she's done that well so far.
So that's how the ladder looks after that result on Wednesday, and of course last night's game as well. The Flames sitting 5th, 5-5. A win tonight really does keep them in touch for the top 4, but it's also why the Bendigo Spirit need to keep on winning, because there's currently 3 games between them and 4th. But they are starting to find their rhythm. They've won 3 of their past 5 games. Let's have a look at how the Sydney Flames will line up tonight. Still no Tess Madgen out there. She missed Wednesday night and will miss again tonight with knee soreness. But Kira Rowe gets another start in the starting 5.
Yeah, that she does. I mean, obviously Nicholson key from again, and we talked about on the Wednesday night going, can Kayla George find her rhythm offensively from the scoring? But interestingly, Coach Guy Malloy has chosen to bring Emma Clark off the bench again. She lit it up from the 3-point line on Wednesday night, so he's looking for more of the same potentially from her.
From a Bendigo perspective, they will unleash Kelsey Griffin for the first time against Sydney this season, because KG23 Carrie didn't play in the first 2 games between these two sides this season. Yeah,
and so that'll be really interesting for the Sydney Flames team. How do they match up on her? Are they going to switch in some of their actions? But she's the third leading scorer in the WNBL at the moment, averaging 17 points a game. She's critical to this group. They've gone big, so it'll be interesting to see if they look for some inside high-low stuff with Griffin and Davies. And obviously Cracker's been it's been a cracker, can I say that?
Yes.
For the Bendigo Spirit, she's been really consistent for them. So some great matchups all over the floor. And which one of these Bendigo Spirit players is going to get the matchup on Lauren Nicholson? They managed to keep her to 4 points in that round 4 win.
Yeah, there's plenty to look out for, plenty of subplots in this game, which is just a few moments away. And if you missed the news during the week, a huge development for the WNBL, because for the first time ever, all games will be shown on the WNBA app and the League Pass. So for our international viewers outside of Australia and New Zealand, make sure you've downloaded the WNBA app for games and WNBL content. And if you're joining us through the WNBA app, hello and welcome to Australia. It's great to have you with us on Friday night, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, for this clash between the Spirit and the Flames. Carrie, just before the tip, what are you expecting between these two teams tonight?
I'm going to see high-intensity defence, particularly from the guards for Bendigo Spirit. Wairung's a tough defender, as is Ali Wilson, and I think those two are going to look to get downhill and put the ball on the floor and penetrate. Will we see some targeted inside action between Davies and Griffin as well for Bendigo?
We see Davis and George with the tip as we get underway here from the Quaycentre. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the planet for this one. It's the Spirit and the Flames. The split is up for grabs, with Bendigo taking one win, and Sydney taking the other win in their 2 contests so far this season. Nicholson kicks it out for Kira Rowe. Good look for 3, falling short, and an early rebound for Davis.
Execution early there for the Sydney Flames, getting Nicholson and Kayla George involved in a 2-game.
Ali Wilson been in good form of late. In the point, early stages. Werung for Davis, for Ali Wilson with 5 to shoot here. Good defensive set here from Sydney. Forces a tough shot from Ali Wilson, and a first rebound for Kayla George.
Kayla George has been impressive on the glass for Sydney, struggling to score as she had in her MVP season last year, but she's maintained her rebounding presence.
Working in tandem here with Bradley. Wants a cut inside. Gets it from Nicholson. The idea was right. Didn't quite come off, but it's come off the feet of the Spirit. So they'll have another opportunity at the offensive end of the floor, the Flames.
Sydney again looking at the same action on this first side. A little pin down action and then some handoff between Nicholson and George as we see the assist from George to Nicholson.
That's her at her best, Carrie, when she's able to do that. Her assist ability is absolutely outstanding. So she's able to feed Nicholson. And that's a lovely feed inside, though, to Griffin, who gets the scoring underway for the Spirit.
Straight back at you. Go to your star athlete. Get him a score. Get him involved early.
Game number 6 this season for Kelsey Griffin as Richards responds with another long 2. She had a great night the other night against the Melbourne Boomers.
That she did open the game with 2 corner threes.
Opens her account here. Werung, normally really good in this position. That rims out, but Davis is there for the first O-board of the game. Davis will set the screen here for Wilson. Griffin inside for Davis. 2 to beat. Beats him easy.
Bendigo Spirit looking for their interior presence early, utilising the size of Ruth Davis. Rim rolled her then and got the ball to her on the point of the rim.
Canadian international with her first points. Another deep 2 for Richards, this time misfiring. Griffin bringing the ball down the other end of the floor. Richards almost picks the pocket there of Ali Wilson, who just maintains control. Early stages of the first quarter. It's another lovely lob pass inside for Davis.
Again, clearly a targeted focus for the Bendigo Spirit. Get Davis on the rim. She's effective. She's got great length, great size. 2
early assists for Ali Wilson. Davis with 2 field goals. George feeds Bradley. Rowe inside for George. Can she get going early? She misfires. She was 0 of 9 the other night from the field against the Boomers, but still had a big impact defensively.
Coach Guymel will be happy with her execution. Maybe some early shots, but Davis again, Bendigo going to the well.
Sense a tough task for Kayla George tonight. Davis will have the height. George, though, with ample experience and the star factor, we know. Richards lobbing it in for George, this time guarded by Kelsey Griffin. A couple of MVPs going at it. Rowe hits the triple.
Big hit for Kira Rowe, renowned as a defender more than a shooter, but obviously got the green light to shoot it if she's wide open and not allow teams to cheat, pack off her.
24 years of age, Kira Rowe, but game 118 in the WNBL. A lot of experience in this league. First with the Flyers and then with the Flames. Here goes Werung, lost control. It's deemed off Werung's hands, much to her disgust. In fact, it was Crocker on that occasion. She lost control and the Flames get the ball back.
Just muscled her way in, couldn't keep the handle.
Here is George. There's Davis here at the top of the key.
Strong denial defence. Bendigo Spirit applying a lot of pressure.
Bradley kicks it in for George. Will she go herself instead? Opts for Richards. Who can't get the mid-range 2 to go.
Impressive defensive intensity from the Bendigo Spirit as Wilson gets on the rim.
Looked pretty good, Ali Wilson, as she drove hard towards the rack. Misfired, but will head to the line to shoot a couple.
Interior action clearly on the offensive keys for the Bendigo Spirit, either with dribble penetration or throwing that ball in deep to their bigs. It's been effective for them so far.
Game number 214 in the WNBL for Ali Wilson. You feel like, though, Carrie, she's 29 years of age, and you feel like she's at the peak of her powers right now. She's had a massive NBL 1 season, obviously representation at national level of 3x3, and she's had a great start to her WNBL season.
Yeah, she has, and I've got to say last year she had an impressive season with the Bendigo Spirit. She's quick.
Here's Nicholson.
Switching defence by the Bendigo Spirit.
Richards guarded closely by Davis, who got the rejection in there and sent it out of bounds.
Yeah, great block, Davis. You know, the great shot blockers delay their block. They don't go after the ball on the hand, and she blocked that with her left hand. Super impressive.
She's looking ominous early, Ruth Davis, at both ends of the floor, Carrie.
Yeah, she is. They're conscious to rim roll her off ball screen action early.
Flames will go to the line. Here's Davis taking a seat. A couple of substitutions for the Spirit, with Alicia Froling coming onto the floor. Here's that look at Nicholson driving hard inside.
Great use of the body. Initiates contact with Abby Wairung. Suckers the foul. Finds herself at the free throw line. Exceptional free throw shooter is Nicholson.
Yeah, so she's now 35 of 37 so far this season, Lauren Nicholson.
That is blue chip.
And that percentage remains high. The Sutherland Sharks product in her 9th WNBL season at the 2-time WNBL champ gives the Flames the lead. Just under 5.5 left in this first quarter. Crocker looking for the pass inside for Werung. Kicks it out. Great ball movement. Ali Wilson draws the defence in. Can't hit the mid-range two. But a long offensive rebound here for Werung. Now Alicia Froling goes to work on that new left hand. It's blocked by George. Kayla G says, not in my house. A couple of early confidence boosting defensive plays for Kayla George. Nicholson rolls it in for George now. But it's going back the other way.
Call for the offensive hook. Kayla George and William dealing down low. Use that elbow. Try and get some leverage off her defender. Referee said, can't do that. So we see that this block from George. Waited.
Yep.
Then went after it.
Textbook defense from Kayla George. Spirit now with an opportunity. Kelly Wilson in game number 441. Kicks it out. Abby Werung, so efficient from deep.
Excellent ball movement. The Bendigo Spirit moving that ball, getting the ball inside, back outside. Second and third passes. Paige Bradley launches the three.
Drains us. Great response from Bradley at the other end. She gets her scoring underway. Now Kelly Wilson thought about taking on Kayla George. Now Wilson has a look for three. She can't get it to go, but a good offensive rebound from Froling for Werung for three. Miss Efficient is on early from deep.
She is. Again, off offensive boards. Both those offensive rebounds have come off three-point misses. The ball rebounds long. Those perimeter players have sucked that up for a second attempt.
Best three-point shooter in the WNBL last season, Abby Werung. Now George kicks it out. Bradley wasn't expecting it from the car park. She goes! Can you believe it? Bradley hits the long triple at the other end, though. Froling gets the quick two response.
Way to silence a crowd, too. It's the back of a big three. You score within 4 seconds.
Entertaining, high-octane start here at Quaycentre. There's another lovely pass from George inside for Richards.
Sydney Flames effective then on the back cut. Great feed by Kayla George. She's got great vision, great perimeter skills from out there.
Crocker, then she drives Bendigo. Every time the Flames challenge Bendigo, coming up with a response. Great finish from Merrin Crocker, who's in some hot form in the past couple of weeks. Long attempt from Nicholson in the corner. Off target. That has come off the hands of Alicia Froling, so the Flames will have a fresh 14 to work with here.
Subs back in, Emma Clark. Let's see if she can light it up like she did on Wednesday night. Kira Rowe, great start for the Sydney Flames. Hit a couple of threes, played tough defence. She sees the bench.
You mentioned Emma Clark, 16 points, including 5 of 7 from three-point land against the Boomers a couple of nights ago. And then 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. It was clearly her best game of the season so far. Great defence here from Froling, forcing a tough fadeaway attempt from George and a rebound for Griffin.
It's going to be a tough night for Kayla George. She's got Kelsey Griffin matched up on her, or Alicia Froling, two very good post defenders.
Samuel seeing her first minutes as well for Bendigo. Feeding Kelly Wilson. Back out for Samuels, who loves the three ball.
That corner three. Mark that spot for the Bendigo Spirit. They're 3 of 3 from that corner.
And the Flames were hot from deep on Wednesday night. Spirit giving them some of their own medicine early stages of this one. George hoping for a cut inside. Panusa seeing some minutes in this first quarter. Passes for Nicholson. Goes herself and draws the contact with 3 seconds on the shot clock.
She's classy at that, Nicholson. She finds ways to sucker fouls, use her body exceptionally well. Wayron just throwing her hips forward. Nicholson felt that, said, I'll give you a nudge back and watch this, referees.
So they'll have a baseline ball. The Sydney Flames. It'll be Emma Clark to take it. Former Perth Lynx player, her second season with the Flames. McSpadden also seeing some minutes here. A lovely screen was set for Nicholson's attempt, but that was off target.
Bendigo push, looking to push tempo off misses and makes.
Froling, Samuels. 8 to shoot here for Bendigo. Defensive set here by Sydney. Griffin calls for movement, gets the screen somewhat from Froling, goes herself, rides solo and gets the lucky roll.
Tough finish.
Griffin at her best. The toughest players you've ever seen in the WNBL. Clark with that length. Didn't get the roll she desired, but keeps it in and then throws it out.
Bendigo Spirit clearly watched the game on Wednesday night and said, we're going to run her off the three-point line, make her put it on the floor. She can take twos, but she's not taking threes against us. They're playing their scout, their individual scouts well. Playing aggressive in your space, switching defence.
4th straight WNBL season for Emma Clark. Griffin, that's an outstanding finish.
Eyes lit up then, Kelsey Griffin. She liked the matchup she had, put it straight on the deck, muscled her way to a finish.
Big start for KG. She's got 7 early. Bradley passes inside, was perfect to McSpadden. Had 9 assists the other night, Paige Bradley. Gets one early here. Feeding McSpadden, who's now scored in every WNBL game she's played this season. Samuels for 3. In and out. And then off the hands of the Spirit. So the Flames, with 31 and change seconds remaining, will have the ball.
Grind clock here, work the second side of their offense, potentially use as much of that clock as they can.
Got that 8-second differential between the two clocks. Rowe back on the floor. Feeding Clark along the baseline. Foul is called. That's a lucky break for the Flames because the Spirit were often charging down the other end of the floor.
Yeah, off the hook then.
Called on Samuels. Just that left hand came out late. It's a good opportunity for the Flames to pounce. Still, a shot clock remains. Nicholson, tough shot. She can't get it to drop. So the Spirit can have the final say of this pretty impressive first quarter from the visitors. And Griffin has been integral. And she, in the end, is able to draw the contact. In fact, sorry, it's an offensive foul against Griffin.
Nicholson gets her feet, does she? Just outside the charge circle in the nick of time. Well read, well anticipated. Kelsey Griffin gives her a hit then and says, yep, you got me.
McSpadden can't find a teammate. That's an impressive opening quarter, though, from the Bendigo Spirit. Looking to try and keep in touch with the top 4. The Spirit 27 lead the Flames 19. We'll take a short break and be back in just a few moments.
Looking for your pathway in basketball? She Hoops Leadership and Confidence Scholarship can help. We're offering 30 girls from around Australia the opportunity to develop as coaches, players and officials, with mentoring from some of Australia's best basketballers and some of Australia's best coaches in breaking down barriers. If you're a girl aged 15 to 18, then this is for you. This 5-month program will accelerate your development both on and off the court. Interested? Head to shehoops.com.au to apply.
Welcome back to the Quaycentre, where we've seen an entertaining first quarter between the Spirit and the Flames. Paige Bradley with a long-range triple. That was her second triple she hit of the first quarter, but it's been Kelsey Griffin who's inspired the Spirit to an excellent start away from their home floor. It's the Spirit leading 25-19 at the first change. Griffin has 9 points. Ben Waterworth with you alongside 12-time WNBL champ Carrie Graff. Coach Kennedy Karima in that at quarter time there. Carrie, you think you'd be pretty pleased with his side?
Yeah, absolutely. I think their defensive intensity and pressure was really good. They were switching, they were in the lanes denying, forcing Sydney to back cut. And then impressively, a couple of big shots from the Sydney Flames. Bendigo Spirit ran it straight back up and scored within 4 seconds, took the crowd out of the game. So they've had a really good mix of up-tempo, execution, and their inside focus has been big. Put the ball on the deck, get downhill. We saw Griffin do that. We saw the guards do that. And then that inside focus when they had Davis on the floor to rimroll her. He'd be happy with their game plan to date.
Yeah, Davis with 4 points, 3 assists as well for Ali Wilson, 4 assists for Kayla George. Just yet to hit the scoreboard herself. Griffin, beautiful pass inside for Foley, who gets it to go and will head to the line for an extra.
And again, we see him, dribble penetration. KG then puts it, head down, tries to get downhill. Great feed inside to Wilson. To Frol. Played together for a few seasons now, know each other's game well.
So Richards and George will check back in. Alicia Froling at the line. Townsville product, 3rd season with Bendigo, 7th in the WNBL season. Of course, spent 5 seasons at Southern Methodist University. Reinvented her game in recent years to become essentially a natural left-hander. Good on that attempt from the free throw line. She gives the Spirit a 9-point advantage. Bradley got it from George. Kicks it out for Richards, who looks at the 3 and hits it all net.
Mark that spot. That's where she lit it up on Wednesday night. It's the DD Richards spot.
Then the pass inside for Kelly Wilson. And then Kelsey Griffin runs out of real estate. So it's a win there for the Flames because, as you said, Carrie, so many times during that first quarter, Flames did something brilliant at one end and the Spirit responded at the other.
Yeah, they have their executing that ball screen action, that high ball screen action pretty effectively. As we see Nicholson dump it inside to Richards and couldn't buy the finish.
Clark, though, is 3 for 3. In and out, so a couple of good looks for the Flames don't go. Bendigo breathed a sigh of relief. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching around the world. Cygnett WNBL action on a Friday night. Griffin tough, too good.
Again, they're just working KG from either elbow. Then she takes the hand off from Ray Frol, puts it on the deck. Previously, we've seen her rip it right and left from that elbow. Is Froling.
They win the ball back off the turnover, and the Spirit now hold a 10-point advantage. Pass inside. It's called a foul on Froling, but ominous signs for the Flames at the defensive end of the floor at the moment. The Spirit shooting very, very well.
Yeah, they've got to tidy up or look to change what they do. They've got to do something with that elbow penetration and handoff action that KG's getting.
Here's Froling, who's having an impact off the bench as well for Bendigo. So timeout called, a much-needed timeout as well. This timeout is brought to you by Cygnett, Australia's #1 digital accessories brand. Cygnett continues to power the WNBL. Australian-owned and designed, Cygnett is available at JB Hi-Fi, Officeworks and other leading retailers. For more information, visit cygnett.com. So the Sydney Flames, it's been a slow start to the season for them, or in terms of more inconsistent start for them. They've gone loss, win. And in recent times, I suppose there's been a little bit of focus on Kayla George. She's been doing some terrific work at the defensive end of the floor, blocking, rebounding in particular as well. Lauren Nicholson leading the way from an offensive point of view, but I suppose Kayla just hasn't been able to get going from just getting points on the board herself. So you just wonder, hopefully in the next, maybe tonight, maybe it is tonight, or in the next couple of weeks, she's just able to flip the script from an offensive point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you say, she's rebounded the ball exceptionally well, defending. I mean, we've seen her come up with some massive blocks, but they need her. You know, she's last year's MVP. Yeah. She's a core piece to them. She needs to be averaging. She's good enough to be averaging a double-double. Look, having said that, she gets a lot of heat. There you go. She says, stick that to your commentators. A lot of heat. She's got KG guarding her tonight, Afrol, Davis. You know, Bendigo got 3 great matchups for her. And you're a targeted woman when you're the MVP.
As if on cue, George comes up with a very impressive 2-pointer. 6 to shoot here. Ali Wilson. Great rebound from Froling. It didn't hit the rim. Doesn't matter in the end. Off the offensive rebound, the Flames bring it away.
Sydney Flames really struggling to contain dribble penetration at the moment.
Nicholson and George are finding each other superbly, and Kayla's got a couple in a row.
On cue, get your 2 stars in 2 games, see what they can do.
10-point lead, back down to 6. Kelly Wilson. Oh, that was nice. That was brilliant from the vest.
Nice little spin, signature spin move from Kelly Wilson. Steps back on it.
I don't know how much of an on-court coach she is and how she brings her teammates into the game. She can get that scoring back up as well. Just adds another dimension to this Bendigo outfit. Nicholson v. Ali Wilson. Great matchup here. And Nicholson gets the points there.
Wow, that's tough. Good D, really good D. Stayed in front, kept the hand on. Nicholson makes a big basket.
Kelsey Griffin, good look for 3. Looked off target from the moment it left her hand, though, but Froling's causing a few headaches underneath the glass. Wilson goes to work. Kicks it out for Samuels. In the corner, all net, Casey Samuels.
Again, the ability for the Bendigo Spirit to get 2 feet in the key. Off dribble penetration allows them then to spit the ball out or get finishes on the rim. Sydney Flames have got to find a way to contain dribble penetration or rotate effectively.
George is feeling it now, but she can't get that tough shot to go. She looks at the ref, looking for a call, none forthcoming. Ali Wilson for Kelly Wilson. Spirit impressive away from home. Samuels caught in 2 minds. Good defense from Clark and George teaming up together there.
Sydney, yep, back to the same. Can we get a 2 game with our 2 stars? Nicholson and George work off each other, spits it out to Clark in the corner for 3.
Lovely shot from Emma Clark.
Flames finding a way to hang around in this.
Clark's first field goal of the night. Back to 6 points, the differential between the 2 sides. Ali Wilson kicks it out for Kelly Wilson. All the way into the other corner for Samuels. Running out of time, has to shoot, does shoot, hits! Awesome from Casey Samuels.
She jabbed, she shot, she jabbed, she shot, she nailed it. Massive Casey Samuels in the corner.
Again, Bendigo finding a way to respond. George, free for 3, must hit, does hit.
That'll make her feel better. Last year's MVP, starting to feel it offensively. She's got a couple of inside finishes, now a 3-ball to go.
7 points now for Kayla George as a timeout is called here at the Quaycentre. This timeout is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, proudly supporting community basketball in Australia. So George now with 7 points in this quarter. Let's just take a look, though, at the Bendigo Spirit in particular so far this season, Carrie. And Kelsey Griffin, as you mentioned, they're leading scorer on average, but we have to remember this is just her 6th game of this WNBL season today. But we mentioned Ali Wilson, how impressive she's been. But I think Froling and Davis have worked together quite nicely, particularly Froling coming off the bench. That's been a good combination for Kennedy Kiriyama this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, KG's leading the way tonight. She's got 11 points. So far, you know, she's on track to keep that average at 17. You know, they got a number of playmakers. The stats there say Ali Wilson. You know, Kelly Wilson adds to that. Wayrung adds to that.
Yeah.
You know, just say top defenders. Afrol's a great post defender. Ruth Davis has, got great size. We saw her block that shot earlier. Beautiful left-hand block. They got some good depth. It's very much a veteran team, but they got depth and they can rotate. They've got experience. It's, can they stay healthy?
Well, already, off the bench, Alicia Froling and Kelly Wilson have played more minutes than Crocker, Werrung and Davis, and that's the depth that I suppose is a big strength of Bendigo's, that they'll look to try and, I suppose, expose other teams down the stretch the back half of this season.
And they've been impressive tonight, getting the ball inside with dribble penetration. Can Sydney find a way to contain the ball?
Ali Wilson inside for Kelly Wilson, flinging the ball around at the moment. The Bendigo Spirit, it's good to watch. Davis sets the screen. Running out of time though. Kelsey Griffin can't hit the long attempts, but there's a foul on the Flames off the rebound.
That's where Davis's size on the rim is just so crucial. Her length allows her to just, you set the ball up on the rim, she's got a great chance to get a no board, get a put back.
201 centimetres. Ruth Davis, 5 seasons at Oregon State University, also WNBA time with Dallas, played for the Canadian national team, Ruth Davis.
Sydney really trying to up the ante defensively here, increase the intensity, get up and in. In doing so, they've received a few fouls.
Eight to shoot here for Kelly Wilson. Crocker loves a 3 attempt, hits the 3. Spirit are hot from deep tonight.
Step back 3, over a hand, off the bench.
They're 6 of 9 from 3-point land at the moment, the Bendigo Spirit. And Griffin charging down the other end of the floor. Ali Wilson feeling it. That looked deep all the way off the hand. So a stop here for the Flames, a rare stop off the 3 attempt. Now George will go to the line. The foul is called on Ali Wilson.
Under that low block, verging on short corner. Kayla George likes that spot. You see, she has it. She loves that shot. So I'll just take the free throws. Thanks very much.
Game number 341 in the WNBL for Kayla George in her 16th WNBL season. Big move to go from Melbourne to Sydney during the recent off-season to play under Guy Malloy. But Carrie, she's becoming one of our most decorated Aussie basketballers, certainly in recent years. 2-time Olympian. You sense that'll be 3-time Olympian very, very soon. 3-time World Cup medalist. Obviously, the recent WNBA championship with Las Vegas, becoming the 11th Aussie to win a WNBA title. And then, of course, you add in the WNBL MVP and the 4-time WNBL champ. It's an incredible CV she's put together.
It's not a bad resume, is it?
So she hits, and the Flames are back within 8 points. Crocker gets the screen from Davis. Kicks it out, just gets to Werrung in the corner, but she's immediately set upon by Clark. Has to put it up. 3 seconds to shoot here for Ali Wilson, who used up all of her time and did well to find the player on the inside there in McGoldrick.
Bendigo, good execution off that side of mid-ball screen. As we see back cutting, Emma Clark gets on the rim for 2.
Good response this time from the Flames. Crocker, McGoldrick again, has a look for 3. And that looked okay off the hand, but it just fell short.
Ball screen action, they're getting open looks at Bendigo Spirit. They're getting stuff on the rim, they're getting open 3s.
George, what a pass. You could not have executed that better, Kayla George. Found Kira Rowe, who hit the 2.
Attacking the denial pressure that Bendigo Spirit are trying to imply.
Another timeout is called as we have a look at this Kayla George pass. It's assist number 6 for Kayla George. She's having a big influence on this game. This timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. CTM Sport is here to transform your team's travel experience. Leave the hassle of off-court arrangements to CTM Sport, the experts in sports travel management. Get the winning edge at ctmsport.com.au. It's a good fight back from Sydney in this quarter. And I suppose, even though that they find themselves still down by the 6 points early stages, it feels like they're a different offensive unit tonight and from a couple of nights ago, because they obviously only put up 50 points and just over 40 points in their previous 2 games, Carrie.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've got confidence, off their game 2 nights ago against Melbourne where they shot the ball exceptionally well. You can see that tonight there. They've got confidence from the perimeter. They're executing well against Bendigo Spirit's pressure defence. Bendigo are out in the lanes denying. They're switching for denial. Sydney have said, right, let's get the ball in Kayla's hands. If you're getting denied, let's back cut, get on the rim, we'll get layups. They've done that effectively in this quarter. They've tidied up a little bit. Containment defence was hurting them early. So they changed something now in their ball screen defence. We've seen Bendigo come down and attack them through side ball screen and mid ball screen. Do they adjust their defence because they've been hurt there with rim rolls and they've been hurt with wide open threes?
3.5 to play in this second quarter. Crocker kicking it out here for Davis. Now Werung back on the floor. 4 to shoot. Good defence again from Sydney. Just starting to get some momentum. Clark streaming forward. Working now with Bradley and George. George has been so shrewd with her passes tonight. Bradley couldn't find George, but Clark still keeps it alive. Inside, blinking when you miss that pass as George fades away and misses.
Signature move for George, just isn't dropping for her.
Now Crocker goes inside and then caught in 2 minds on that occasion. McGoldrick, whether to pass to Davis or keep dribbling forward herself. There'll be a Flames ball as a result. Just a bit of a miscommunication between the Kiwi and Canadian internationals.
Ali Wilson back in. Ali Wilson, not related. We should let you know.
There's Tess Madgen in the middle of your screen just there next to Shanice Swain. Those 2 players will be pretty handy for the Flames right now, Carrie.
The team and the coach would love to have those 2 athletes back in the group, but they've, Swain hasn't yet played for them. Madgen's been in and out. The story of basketball season, you've got to find a way to win, regardless of injury.
Here is George kicking it out for Rowe, for Richards. Have to put it up, 2 to shoot. Richards does and hits! Great buzzer beater from D.D. Richards, and the Flames are back within 4. Great contest here at the Quaycentre on a Friday night.
Yeah, we mentioned the desperation when the series splits on the line has an impact if you can find your way into that top 4. As Griffin muscles her way to the rim. Finds a foul.
KG at her best will head to the line to shoot an extra. And Kelsey Griffin having a big influence on this contest. She's up to 13 points.
And she's done most of it by just that. Put the ball on the floor, try and get downhill. She's got great use of her body. Can she convert the and one?
Product of the University of Nebraska. Found a home there here in Australia. Her 12th WNBL season and her 8th with the Bendigo Spirit. Misfiring, though, on that free throw attempt. Free throwing just hasn't quite been her forte so far this season.
She's down at 60%.
Yeah.
She's a career 73% free throw shooter.
George hoping to find a gap. Instead, Panousis has a look but falls short. The rebound for Kira Rowe gives the Flames an extra 14 seconds to work with. She's looking for that inside pass all the time, Kayla George. She finds Panousis.
Sydney Flames have got to have 10, 12 points from that same back cut action. Kayla George is the feeder. Guards back cutting.
7th dish for George. Her passing has been on point. Griffin can't get that one to go. Gets her own rebound and puts it back in for the Bendigo Spirit. She's got 15.
Right now, the Sydney Flames don't have an answer for Kelsey Griffin. They've got to find one before this game's out, and certainly before half-time.
George is causing all kinds of chaos from this position. Inside she goes for Nicholson, who has 5 to shoot. Puts it up. Falling short. Werung gets the long rebound. Final minute here. Alicia Froling passed beautifully to Griffin, but before Griffin was able to put it up, the ref called an offensive foul.
Lauren Nicholson in the action again defensively. Anticipates, gets her feet outside that charged circle.
Froling argues her case. Here's a look on replay.
She was there. Nicholson, great position, great anticipation. Took one in the chest. It's gutsy.
She's a gutsy player, Lauren Nicholson. As I mentioned earlier, a former WNBL Defensive Player of the Year back in 2019. Referee's just conferring with scorer's bench here. Bendigo holding a 49-43 lead. They led by as much as 10 at the start of this quarter, but the Flames have been pretty impressive in this quarter. It's 24 points apiece. The points have really flowed for both teams.
And one foul against Cygnett. That was on Kira Rose.
So here we go with Panousis, now McSpadden for Nicholson, for Richards. Stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out of bounds. Possession to the Spirit.
49-43. Bendigo lead with an 8-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Let's anticipate that Bendigo might get KG involved in a 2-game, but then they get Afrol on the rim with a backside seal.
Froling able to connect. I don't think the basket counted though.
Referee waved it off.
Fouls on Kira Rose.
Foul on the catch.
Second foul for Kira Rowe. The other thing we have to keep an eye on as well, Carrie, is that Kayla George already has 4 fouls to her name.
Yeah, interesting.
Keep an eye on that as the Flames don't want to try and let this margin go too much further. It's 7 points after that Afrol free throw. They now make it 8. So Bendigo hit the half ton before half time. No shot clock left. McSpadden for Rowe. Now Bradley will get the screen from McSpadden. Goes to work. Deep 2, misses. Kelly Wilson brings down the rebound. Still a chance for Bendigo to put up a prayer. The vet, can she find the hoop? She can't. No foul called. Very impressive first half of basketball, but Bendigo holding a handy 8-point lead at the major break. Bendigo 51, the Sydney Flames 43. We said pre-game, Carrie, it was going to be an entertaining clash, and it's lived up to all expectations so far.
Yeah, that it has. You know, physical defence, both teams looking to attack in different ways. We've seen Sydney score off that back cut action with Kayla George as the feeder. We've seen Bendigo Spirit get the ball to KG and get her to put the ball on the deck. They've done a phenomenal job of getting their feet in the key, spitting it out to 3-point shooters inside to Davies, but KG certainly led the way for her team.
Let's have a look at some of the second quarter highlights. Kelsey Griffin starting the second quarter, like she started the first as well, able to bring her teammates into the game. Bendigo able to get out to a 10-point lead at one stage, but then Kayla George started to get hot offensively. She'd been bringing her teammates into the game, then got 8 points in quick succession. Just gave her team a lift.
Yeah, she did. You know, when your star players can step up and score, it gives the rest of your team confidence. There was some good 2-game action between Nicholson and George. But the ability for the Bendigo Spirit to put the ball on the floor, get deep penetration, get on the rim, get assists, get 3-point shots was impressive. We talked about the back cut action time and time again for the Sydney Flames. Bendigo Spirit playing denial and switching D. Created opportunities with Sydney to counter-attack that with back cut action. Here we go, KG, vet. I'll take a hit, I'll take a finish, I'll take a free throw. Thank you very much.
15 points and 5 rebounds so far for Kelsey Griffin. As we have a look at the halftime stats so far, whoever has dominated field goal percentage in the previous 2 meetings between these two sides has ultimately come out victorious in the end. Both teams shooting the ball pretty well, it has to be said, but Spirit 20 of 34 at halftime. You have to be pretty happy with that.
Sensational clip. I mean, but a lot of that is because they're getting the ball on the rim. You know, they're getting semi-contested but pretty good looks on the rim. Both teams shooting the 3-ball exceptionally well. You know, this one, as we said, series split is on the line. It takes on finals-type intensity.
Yeah. There's your look at the leading stats winners so far. Kelsey Griffin with 15 points and 5 rebounds, as I just mentioned as well. George, 8 points, 7 assists, but most notably, a couple of fouls to her name as well. We will take a short break here from the Quaycentre, and on the other side of that, we'll have the second half action. It's Bendigo 51 leading the Flames 43.
Women are powering forward and changing the game on and off the court. Together, Basketball Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are powering women in basketball. We are amplifying the voices, skills and spirit of women in the game. From the backboards to the boardrooms, we're breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes and empowering the next generation of female athletes and leaders. Get involved and together we can create a future where
Summer of awesome. Get ready for a new hard racing game changer. Todd Woodbridge
What is the longest river in South America?
The Amazon River?
Correct.
pushes Australia's most addictive game show over the edge.
Wow. Let's go!
And in an all-new endgame,
One counter for a shot at $40,000.
the more you risk,
2 counters, $20,000. I'll also throw in a holiday.
the more you win.
If you don't get that jackpot, you'll leave here with nothing.
Brand new Tipping Point Australia starts Monday, Jan 29 on 9.
Ford dealers have backed sport in communities for nearly 100 years. And now, from the Boomers and Opals to Aussie Hoops, your local Ford dealer is proud to support basketball. Because all dreams start somewhere.
Quaycentre rolling to the bucket. The foul call from George.
Nicholson makes a move. What a play! Mansfield with the hot hand goes up against Callie Wilson. Clutch play from Lauren Mansfield. Fowler gets up ahead and gets the out one to go.
Now Wood Mitchell tosses it up and in. What a finish from Leilani Mitchell.
Hi, my name's Christy. I'm Jordan. We're here with Fletcher and Sia, and we're here for the Ford Aussie Hoops program. Take the ball. That one's... That one's a good one. She was eyeing that one for a long time. Good thing about the sport basketball.
That you can shoot?
That you can shoot? Okay. We got a shooter here. All right, yeah. What's your favorite shot?
Layup.
A layup? When you grow up.
I want to be a doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah.
What kind of doctor?
Brain surgery and heart surgery.
Brain and heart surgery?
Uh-huh.
Favorite basketball movie?
Space Jam.
Space Jam? Okay. Space Jam is a classic. All right, Sia, you got to end on a layup, Sia. Let's see it again. There you go. There it is. There you go. Good job, Sia. Good job, Sia. All right, Wally.
Summer of Awesome fires up with the action-packed United Cup.
Oh yes, sensational.
Australia takes on the world in a global showdown.
Demon delivers for Australia.
Then, the big one. the 2024 Australian Open.
You won't see better tennis than this all summer.
Our Aussies are ready to unleash the United Cup. Live and free on 9 and 9 Now. It's the magical family spectacular that lights up Christmas Eve. Sing along with Callum Scott, Mitch Tambo, and all your favourite entertainers. And special performances from the stars of the world's biggest musicals.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
David Campbell and Brooke Boney present
Vision Australia's Carols by Candlelight. Christmas Eve at 8 on 9.
You overheated the generator.
Nice nightgown. Away.
Well, that smile might make all the girls at the church social swoon, but it's not going to work on me.
Well, I'm not gonna be polite. I'm not gonna show you where a fuse box is. Night.
This Manhattan Doctor's life is going south. Stream all episodes of Heart of Dixie on 9 Now.
For centuries, supernatural creatures have lived among us.
There are vampires, werewolves, doppelgangers, witches,
And even hybrids.
Go!
There are friends,
Our enemies.
the ones we love.
And the ones we've lost. A lot of blood, a lot of partying.
But if you're gonna die, it might as well be epic.
Sink your teeth into the drama.
Drink.
The Vampire Diaries.
Here we go.
Stream every episode on 9 Now.
Women are powering forward and changing the game on and off the court. Together, Basketball Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are powering women in basketball. We are amplifying the voices, skills and spirit of women in the game. From the backboards to the boardrooms, we're breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes and empowering the next generation of female athletes and leaders. Get involved and together we can create a future where every girl's hoop dreams are within reach.
Welcome back to the Quaycentre Friday night hoops in the Cygnett WNBL. It's the Sydney Flames hosting the Bendigo Spirit, and it's been an awesome contest so far between these two sides, desperate to keep in touch with the top four, and it's the visiting team, Bendigo, with a 51-43 lead over the Sydney Flames. Ben Waterworth with you, alongside one of the greats of Aussie hoops, 12-time WNBL champ, Carrie Graff. And Carrie, let's have a look at our player of the half, and there's a no contest in the end. Kelsey Griffin is at her best tonight. She's so tough and determined when she's in this kind of mode in the game.
Yeah, look, and she recognised when she had matchups she liked. We saw her attack Kira Rowe from the elbow and muscle her way in. We saw her take a handoff there and beat Dee Richards. You know, she's got most of hers going at the rim from the elbow or from the wing, as we see there. She just finds a way to finish. The great players find a way to finish under duress, find a way to finish with contact. She's been impressive, and as we said in the opener, the Sydney Flames hadn't yet seen her yet. They've played twice this season and they haven't seen her. So they need to find an answer for her in the third quarter.
That was my next question, because you said a couple of times that they don't have a natural matchup at the moment, or a matchup that is able to curtail Kelsey Griffin. Is there a player that you would just give a certain job to try and curtail Griffin now?
Look, maybe they go Dee Richards on her. She's quick, she's got length, she can play her tighter. I mean, she got beaten on a handoff there. Maybe they were meant to be switching that, but they got to try something different because it's not working. And then when she's getting different matchups, she's attacking where she sees fit. So they really need to find a way to lock her down.
Just before this third quarter gets underway, just a reminder about the official WNBL app. If you don't want to miss a minute of the action, of course, with all the live scores, the highlights, all the player and team info, and much, much more, make sure you download the free WNBL app today, which has been huge in the WNBL this season. So you can watch us now and keep in touch with all the live stats and the info in the WNBL app. So Kayla George back out there to start this half. Do you want to see something besides, I suppose, maybe a bit tighter defence on Kelsey Griffin? Is there something else you want to see from the Sydney Flames in this second half? Because, as we mentioned before we went to the break, they're shooting very, very well. Bendigo is shooting a little bit better at the moment.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Bendigo's shooting's coming from dribble penetration. They're either scoring from dribble penetration or the ball gets spat back out and they get the ball to swing, and find a wide open shooter. So they've got to find a way, firstly, to contain dribble penetration. And then particularly with KG, if they can't contain it, they've got to get rotation D to try and take a charge foul on her, as we saw Nicholson do a couple of times.
Great to have the thoughts of Carrie Graff on a Friday night here. Cygnett WNBL action, third quarter underway. Bradley goes to work. George back out for Bradley. She has been in an assist kind of mood tonight. Kayla George can't add another to her tally. She's got 7 so far after that Bradley miss. Werung.
Bendigo looking down low. They orchestrated this one to get Davis on the left side of the floor. She's a lefty. Swung the ball back. Got it deep on the rim. Out of that side ball screen action.
Just falling short on the attempt. Good defense from Kayla George. Forcing that tough shot. They've got 14 seconds to work with here. Bendigo. Davis again calling for it. Down low. Ali Wilson, though, runs into some trouble. Crocker has to put it up. That always looks short. Davis with the long rebound.
Offensive boards been hurting Sydney. Bendigo had 7-0 boards in the first half.
Griffin for Crocker. Back for Griffin, who fades away and hits that beautifully.
She's getting involved in switch action there. Lauren Nicholson had her. She just sat her on her back. Worked it down low.
Bradley thought about the triple attempts. Nicholson for Richards. They let her have the free, and she misses, but George is there for the rebound. Richards for Bradley, can't leave her free. And then George again, take 3. Nicholson, third time lucky for the Flames.
Uh-oh, look out Bendigo. This is what happened on Wednesday night. Lauren Nicholson had 4 or 6 points in the first half. She lit it up in the third.
Griffin back out for Werung. Drives hard inside. Into the key she goes. Left-hand attempt, misfires. A stop for the Flames. Richards kicks up the tempo. George is free for 3. Boom!
She's feeling it tonight, Kayla George. Second long-range 3.
Team high, 11 points for George. And the Flames, just like that, are back within 4. Werung lobs it in for Davis. Good D this time again from George.
And Bendigo Spirit going with that side pick and roll action. So if they can rim roll, get Davis on the rim. They did that well. Kayla George stepped up and played great D again.
Griffin called for the foul. Just caught one to the mouth as well as herself there. Miscontact. And after the initial contact. George for Richards. Goes to work on Davis. Has the athleticism here. Didn't put it up herself.
The presence of Davis, that length, she keeps her space.
Richards attempts the mid-range 2. Off target. Important stop here for Bendigo. Griffin for Ali Wilson. Griffin feeling it tonight. Instead, Davis has a good look there at the mid-range 2 and gets the lucky roll.
Rattles in the elbow 2.
Davis up to 6 points tonight. Rowe lobs it in, hoping for George. It's deemed off the hands of the Flames.
The leader, KG, happy with the team defence there. She played the top side of that post. They had good heat on the ball, on that interior feed. Shook it loose.
Pretty cool watching 2 leaders of the 2 teams and 2 leaders of Aussie hoops in particular. George at one end and Griffin at other end. 2 fierce competitors as well. It's great entertainment.
Yeah, it is, you know. The players take pride in that big defensive stop. It was a team effort.
Saw Griffin having a rest on the bench. Crocker closely there by Clark. Samuels on the floor as well for the Spirit. Werung will get rid of Rowe. Inside for Samuels. She try and get around Nicholson. Kicks it out. Stepped out of bounds. Great defense, Lauren Nicholson, and great defense overall by the Flames.
Straight back at you with a defensive stop. Both teams up in the ante at the defensive end.
6 points the difference, just over 6 minutes left in the third. Wherever you are around the world, great to have you with us. Nicholson for George. Can't bank that in.
Again, involve your 2 stars in a 2-game. Then Nicholson and George on that little side pick and roll.
Great
Samuels.
pass. Oh, Crocker fed Samuels, who hit a long triple.
Big 3. Casey Samuels.
Having a great season off the bench, Samuels. She's up to 12 points for Bendigo. Nicholson steps back and hits the big 2.
Loves that little mid-range jumper. Likes to step back.
Samuels again, feeling it. In and out. That was destined for another triple for Casey Samuels. She's 4 of 5 from 3-point land tonight. Now 4 of 6 after that missed attempt. George, almost came off the head of Nicholson. Working so well in tandem. Clark got a great hand in there. It was almost destined for a free 3 attempt. Instead, Nicholson brings it up the floor and drives to the rack.
Deja vu.
Another big 3rd quarter from Lauren Nicholson. We're only halfway through. Back to 5 points. Flames crowd lifts. Crocker for Ali Wilson. Good look from the corner. All oxygen. And that is off the hands of Froling, and the Flames are rolling.
Big stop for the Sydney Flames there. They haven't managed to get this down under 5. If they can convert here, what do they go to? 2-game action with their 2 stars.
Abby Werran takes a seat. She has 8 points tonight, but here's Lauren Nicholson. So gritty and determined to 13 points for her side, averaging the 17 per game and going at 46% from the field. So there must have been a tech.
Interesting to see how long Coach Kennedy Karima leaves KG on the bench.
Yeah.
Their lead's been whittled away while she sat down.
The Spirit now with a 5-point advantage. They're starting to work their way back into the contest. Nicholson is leading from the front superbly. Drove aggressively to the basket and will head to the line to shoot 2.
She liked that matchup. Put her head down. Got downhill. And again, good use of the body. Initiates contact with that defender. You initiate. You got control of it. You spoke earlier. Exceptional free throw shooter. Blue chip.
37 of 39 for the season so far. Just one game where she was 8 of 10 from the free throw line. But besides that, she's been perfect in every game so far this season from the line. And we've jinxed her big time.
Puts her in the category of some of our greatest shooters. Shelley Gorman,
yes.
Belinda Snell.
Oh. Ali Wilson for Crocker. Work our way inside. Around the perimeter go the Spirit. Samuels. Wilson works her way inside, then kicks it back out. Must hit this Crocker. Can't. And a long rebound here. Team rebound for the Flames.
It's dried up from the 3-point line for the Bendigo Spirit in this 3rd quarter.
Big chance to get within a basket here. Lauren Nicholson leading from the front superbly. She's got 15. Timeout called at the Quaycentre. And the Flames, just like they did 2 nights ago, making a run in this 3rd quarter. Lauren Nicholson continuing to lead her team superbly. The timeout is called in Sydney. Just a reminder, a big development for the WNBL in the past couple of days. For the first time ever, all games shown on the WNBA app and League Pass. So for international viewers outside of Australia and New Zealand, make sure you download the WNBA app for games and, of course, all your WNBL content. So Nicholson now up to 16 points, correction, and her and Kayla George. That'd be a good sign for Flames fans. see both the two star Aussie players right up the top in the scoring as well, but they're also having influence on this contest, carrying in different ways. George bringing other players in the game, Nicholson defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw, Kayla started to stroke tonight. She's hit a couple of threes. That first half, she was distributed from the top of the key, getting those back cutters. Now she stepped up. Hasn't made her inside and low post shots as much as she would have previously, but stroked a couple of threes. And Nicholson's got 10 in this third quarter already. We talked about, what's the answer for Sydney against KG? That's been sitting her on the bench.
Yeah.
Who now for Bendigo's got the answer for Lauren Nicholson? Because she's swung this game. KG's been sitting on the bench. Nicholson stepped up and she's leading it for her team.
Kelly Wilson running point. Griffin back on the floor. Hands for Ali Wilson, for Kelly Wilson. Now Samuels works her way inside, full elevation, can't get it to go. Another good defensive play from the Flames, led by Nicholson again. Chance to level up the scores and maybe even take it with a triple. Ball in the hands of Nicholson, who's doing all the damage.
She could have launched that again off that little hesitation step back.
Bradley with 3 to shoot, steps back out. Clark fumbles, and the Bendigo Spirit get one back here. Shot clock violation is called.
Lauren Nicholson could have taken that same move that she had less than a minute ago, hesitated, punched, pulled back, decided not to shoot it, released the ball. Her team get a shot clock violation. When you're a star like that and you shoot as well as you're shooting, you got to take that one again. Too unselfish, to my mind.
Let's see if that attitude changes in the next 2 and a bit minutes. Flames with the momentum. Spirit with ample experience. Samuels got it from Ali Wilson. Having a big influence on the contest. 2 to shoot here. Wilson has to put it up and can't hit. Clark brings down the rebound. Didn't hit the rim though, so maybe a setback there for Sydney because they had plenty of run and gun getting towards the offensive end of the floor, but the ball has to be thrown back in bounds now. So foul, I think, has been...
Foul was called. Maybe the other referees didn't hear it.
Yeah. So on Bradley.
Certainly the score bench didn't hear it. They didn't take that shot clock off.
So it means that Kelly Wilson is at the line. Rare trip to the free throw line this season for Kelly Wilson.
Guaranteed 2 for her. We talk about elite free throw shooters. She's one of them.
3 of 4 from the line this season. So much needed 2 for Bendigo. Rowe had a terrific start to the game. Back out on the floor now. Bradley. Beautiful recognition inside to McSpadden.
Bit of miscommunication defensively there by the Bendigo Spirit. McSpadden naked on the rim.
Froling is got her hands in the air there. Flames bench up on their feet. Turnover. Offensive foul.
Paige Bradley may have suckered one then from Alicia Froling.
Froling has 3 personal fouls. That tech foul just a few minutes ago was a bench technical. For all those playing at home, that's why there was a free throw attempt. Flames within 2. Rowe for Clark. Back for Rowe. Pretty young 5 players out on the bench now for the Flames. Rowe has to put it up, has 1 to shoot. Can't get it to go. Clark gets the rebound.
Great second possession by Clark. KG won't be happy with that missed block out as Lauren Nicholson, the third quarter queen.
Had the foot just inside the perimeter, so the 2 ball, but it's 60 points apiece. And this Sydney home crowd has found its voice. And it gets even louder They win the ball back. Nicholson again! Falling short. What can they do from the quick turnover? They're well held up in the end, Bendigo. We're into the final minute of this third quarter. It's been a third quarter dominated by Sydney. Griffin running out of room. Kicks it out for Crocker, who is well off the mark.
We see the defensive intention KG got there in a triple team as she got the ball down low.
Nicholson for Rowe for Bradley. 14-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Screen there. So Kelly Wilson is called for the foul despite the pick there from McSpadden.
Interesting. I'm not sure that an arm bar on Nicholson prior to the physical screen.
Oh, Bradley's all by herself. Another miscommunication on defense from the Spirit. The Flames take the lead.
Well, certainly Bendigo Spirit's defense hasn't been on song as it was in the second quarter.
Crocker for Ali Wilson in rhythm. Well off target for the three ball. And at three-quarter time, the Flames lead. 62-60 in favour of Sydney. They trail by as much as 10. But the Flames, led by Lauren Nicholson-Carey, have worked their way back into this contest. Not just that, they're in front with a quarter to go. That was an impressive third quarter from them.
It was. I mean, Nicholson, boy, she led the way offensively, didn't she? Exceptionally well. She uses hesitation. She gets her defender below the level of the screen. She changes angles, changes pace, and she's got beautiful mid-range finish, especially going left.
Let's have a look at the numbers so far in this contest. And the Spirit, we mentioned they were shooting the ball superbly at halftime. They're going at 59% at halftime. The Flames, their percentage really hasn't changed that much. So just the Spirit not connecting offensively, but we saw a couple of times during that third quarter, Carrie, defensively, just not quite clicking for them.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of miscommunications. Found Bendigo Spirit players wide open inside the key for uncontested shots. They'll need to tidy that up. I can't imagine that Coach Carrie Ammer will sit Kelsey Griffin on the bench during this fourth quarter. I think that hurt him in that middle patch, but you know, we see some of the stats there. We talked about Nicholson's third quarter. She was phenomenal. KG's 14 points. She didn't have a huge opportunity to score. Sydney adjusted a little bit on her. Rebound count, you know, interestingly, George and Griffin in there for their teams leading the rebounds, but some nice contributions from others.
Just to note as well, from a foul perspective, heading into the fourth quarter, Kayla George has 3 and Alicia Froling has 3. So the Flames, topsy-turvy start to their 2023-24 WNBL season. Pretty bad last weekend for them offensively. But they really turned it on a couple of nights ago, and they've turned it on in the second half so far against the Bendigo Spirit. Still a quarter to go. And Davis has been very ominous inside the paint all night, although that right-hand finish doesn't go.
Yeah, McSpadden played the scout well then, forced it to her non-preferred hand on that back to the basket post move.
McSpadden tries to free up Nicholson here, and then McSpadden gets it from Nicholson. Griffin read it, but then gave away the foul.
KG happy to take that foul then. Wanted to hold that momentum. Dare her to earn these from the free throw line, knowing that McSpadden's not the greatest of free throw shooters yet.
Yes, 57% from the charity stripe so far this season, Lara McSpadden. Good on the first attempt though. Her 8th WNBL season, played game number 100 last weekend. Her 5th season with the Flames, also with the Townsville Fire as well. Had a couple of seasons there. So 1 of 2. Lara McSpadden there to give the Flames 63-60 lead. Kelly Wilson all the way out to Werrung. Hit a couple of big threes early. That was blocked. In the end, Davis put the ball on the floor though, mops up the mess and gets the 2.
Sydney bench pleading for a travel.
Yeah.
Thought Davis left her feet on the smallest of margins, but referees didn't see it that way.
McSpadden set the screen illegally, according to the referee. Bendigo get the ball back.
Let's see what Bendigo have got here. Kelly Wilson will have something up her sleeve. She'll know where she wants the ball, who she wants to have the ball and in what position. Side pick and roll involving KG.
Again, Davis is the target. And too good this time. Ruth Davis on the left.
Well executed, went to the second side of their offense, challenged it, drew some defense with KG out of that side pick, reversed the ball, got Davis on the rim.
Clark for Bradley. Feeds Nicholson. Oh, excellent pass to kick it out. Rowe can't hit it. And it will be Rocker bringing it away. Lobbing it inside for Griffin. Look away pass for Werrung. Can't hit the triple. And Bradley just keeps it alive.
3-point line dried up for the Bendigo Spirit.
Tense atmosphere. High stakes. Split up for grabs between these two sides. Bradley found some space and found the net.
Great composure.
Into double figures, Paige Bradley. With a big night last Wednesday. And 10 points and 5 assists for her tonight. Davis for Werrung. Griffin puts up the 3 and misses. Bradley wasn't looking at the ball, so Kelly Wilson was able to pick up the offensive rebound.
Big second possession for the Bendigo Spirits at this point in the game.
And can Davis make the most of it? Great defense. Bradley makes amends, forces the turnover. Can she hit the 3 as well? Instead, puts it back out for Nicholson, who attempts the 3 herself. Griffin bringing down another rebound for the Bendigo Spirit. She has 6 tonight.
Kelly Wilson calling for a sub. She might be the blood rule.
Should be coming off for some attention from the medical staff. Still giving 110% Kelly Wilson. Game number 4-1, season number 21. Werrung. Samuels has stepped onto the court. Crocker from way downtown. Well off target. Richards also back on the floor here for the Flames.
Bendigo Spirit with a much smaller group in now. We might see them 5-man switch.
George and Richards are back out there for Sydney. Can they make the most of it here? George. Trademark George.
Boy, she's more of herself tonight, particularly at the offensive end.
13 for George. Aggressive work inside from Ali Wilson. George brings down the rebound.
That was so effective for them in the first half for the Bendigo Spirit. Get downhill, get their feet in the paint, get on the rim, find the open player.
Richards for Nicholson. Back for Richards. Again, a miscommunication on defense from Bendigo. Richards is pumped. The Flames are up by 5.
Again, just the composure, the 2 tempos that Laura Nicholson plays with. She goes fast to slow, slow to fast, makes defense hesitate, not, question what they're doing.
Timeout called by Bendigo coach Kennedy Kiriyama. This timeout is brought to you by Ford Aussie Hoops. which is the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years of age. Basketball Australia are launching the Ford Aussie Hoops Award for 2023, which you can find out more by visiting aussiehoops.basketball, where you can also find a program and register. So the Flames lead 69 to 64, where it's dried up for the Spirit from a three-point perspective. The Flames are doing lots of damage themselves, not necessarily from the three-point territory, which is probably where they did their damage on Wednesday night against the Boomers, Carrie. It's just showing great patience and making great decisions at the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, they are. You know, they're playing at two speeds. You know, Nicholson was, you know, that third quarter she stepped up and scored. This fourth quarter, she's been bringing other people into the game, using her hesitations, executing well. Kayla George has found some form offensively, which helps. You know, Sydney right now got 4 players in double digits. That's hard to defend. Yeah. Nicholson with 18, Richards with 11, a quiet 11 for my mind, George with 13 and Bradley with 10. That's hard to defend.
What can they do off the timeout, Bendigo? Must keep in touch with the top 4. Great defensive switch there. Werung finds a way, free for 3, can't get it to go. And a foul is called on the Spirit. Sydney bench pumped. So Froling is called for the foul, and I think that's her 4th of the game as well. Griffin also has 3 fouls.
Asking the referee, what was that for? Let's see it on the replay. From this angle, it didn't look like much, but we're not down on the floor.
Griffin and Davis both on the bench still. Bradley for George for Richards. Clark.
It may be that Kelsey Griffin's on managed minutes.
George inside for Richards. Another dime for KG. Richards takes her tally to 13.
Impressive part for the Flames offensively tonight. Kayla George is that high post feeder. Back cutters.
Samuels is called for the offensive foul. Left arm came out. And it's quite amazing how much this game has flipped from a momentum perspective.
Momentum fairly and squarely with the Sydney Flames. Defensively coming up with plays. Excited about that. Rally around a teammate that makes it momentum swinging play.
Halfway through this final quarter, the Flames have a game-high 7-point lead. Remember, Bendigo led by as much as 10.
And Sydney continuing on their shooting form. 55 from the field percent. 44 from three-point range.
George on the inside, looking to feed it off. Or will she go herself? Trademark.
She's back.
George hits the 2. She has 15. 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Big night from the captain. Froling still out on the floor. Knocked away by George. Aggressive battle between these two. Alicia Froling, 2 tough competitors going at it. Flames lead by 9.
They like it in the post. Physical, let them play. They're big, strong women. Neither one backing down.
No. Froling will take a seat. Davis is back out on the floor. Can the Spirit make the most of her 201 centimetre frame? Well, Kelly Wilson wasn't quite expecting it and just keeps it in the front court. Puts up the prayer, well off target. Probably summed up where the Spirit are at the moment. Meanwhile, the Flames are humming. Clark, though, lost control, but there's a foul call on Griffin. So that's her 4th.
He's not going the way of the Bendigo Spirit at this point in time. Yeah, she was in on that late.
So they had 51 points at half-time, the Spirit. They scored just 13 in 1.5 quarters.
Yeah, they haven't been able to hit from the perimeter. Sydney have done a much better job of containing penetration.
George for Nicholson, well short. Referees will confer here, and it will go the way of Bendigo. They will need everything to go right now. A serious script flip needed for the Bendigo Spirit. (73-64). Samuels, can she fire? Look deep always, and Clark raising up. Rip that ball. Can they continue their hot form at the offensive end of the floor? Here's Sydney. George for 3. Can't get that one to go. Here's Wilson of the Kelly variety to Ali Wilson. Inside for Davis. That left-hand shot was a bit too deep. And Bradley kicks up the tempo. Finishing strong here, Sydney. Clark misses. Nicholson gets the rebound. Just get the ball inbounds, and Kayla George can't hit the triple. It really is now all going the way of the Sydney Flames. Nicholson finds a way through. The seas parted for Nicholson, and they have a game-high 11-point lead.
She rejected the screen then, went straight down the gut. Great finish, Nicholson.
Davis still working hard. She was fouled and will head to the line to shoot 2. Really, in this second half, she's looked like the only offensive threat for the Bendigo Spirit, Ruth Davis.
Yeah, she has, that when they've got her down low. Having said that, Sydney have defended her pretty well once she's been down there. We saw McSpadden send it to a non-preferred shoulder and hand. Saw Kayla George come up with a big block. Massive 2 free throws here for the Bendigo Spirit. And they stay in touch. 9 down, 2:43 to play, 2:24 to play.
She's now 2 of 8 from the free throw line this season. About 3 of 9. Ruth Davis, 10-point differential. Just under 2.5 to play. Stop or 2 for the Flames will probably do it. Maybe a Kayla George dagger or 2. Although, turnover.
We're having to grind clock, but good D for Bendigo. Spit that one loose, shake it loose.
Oh, big defensive play from Bradley. Huge mismatch. Timed that swat away superbly. Well played by the import. And Kelly Wilson gives away the foul. That goes down to Paige Bradley.
Clock is their friend now, the Sydney Flames. They don't want to go negative though, but chew clock. Can they get the ball back into their star athletes, get 2-game action again with Nicholson and George? Or do we see George play high, be the feeder?
There's the foul. Bradley at the line. They're in the Spirit now, in the bonus, the Spirit now. The Flames have all the momentum. Paige Bradley, originally from Woodlands, Texas, had a real splash with Hobart in the NBL 1 and then across the ditch with Dunedin in the New Zealand NBL. She was named in the All-Star 5. She hits both free throws, and the Flames hold a 77-65 advantage, and it really has been an impressive turnaround by Guy Malloy's side.
It has, you know. Coach Kennedy Kariema wants to talk it over. He knows it's critical time now. Under 2 minutes to play, down 12. They've got to make something happen in this next 30 seconds. They got to look for a 3 coming out of this timeout. You would think, as you say, Coach Guy Malloy, he'll be happy with his team defensively. Stepped it up, much more impressive. Executed well offensively, and their star, one of their stars, Kayla George, who's been struggling for form, particularly offensively, has stepped it up tonight and found that form.
We talk a lot about who's missing for the Flames at the moment in terms of Shanice Swain and Tess Madgett, but we just saw a shot beforehand of Tiana Mangakar here on the bench. We know that the health battle that she's been going through in recent times as well with cancer, but she's an assistant coach this season, working closely with Renee Garlop. and she just brings a wonderful, positive vibe to this Sydney Flames outfit, Carrie.
Yeah, absolutely, like you say. What a story of adversity has she overcome. You know, and viewers watching, certainly in the US, will know that story well. But to keep players like her engaged in the coaching system and have them involved on the bench can, you know, not only be part of their great journey, but a great addition to the team.
And she's been up on the bench more than anyone else tonight as well, riding her team during this second half comeback. Kelly Wilson for Griffin, fading away, can't get it to go. Froling can't bring down the rebound.
Shooting woes continue for the Bendigo Spirit. The second half, the percentages have dipped.
Paige Bradley works her way inside. Nicholson has 8 to shoot. George has found form tonight. She's back.
That's the signature that wasn't dropping earlier, but boy, second half.
17 points tonight for Kayla George. Big return to form for her at the offensive end of the floor. Kelly Wilson, good look for 3. In and out. Summing up the Spirit's second half.
Massive 2 games for the Sydney Flames.
Yeah.
Close this one out with under a minute. Big win on Wednesday night against the Melbourne Boomers.
George cheekily tried to put it up. I think Griffin might have got a hand in there. George thought it was a foul. Nonetheless, the lob comes in. And Froling will head to the line, much to the chagrin of the Sydney bench and Paige Bradley.
She's been effective. She's mismatched inside, come up with some big plays defensively. Smallest player on the floor.
This is, you mentioned it, 2 big games for the Sydney Flames, and it really does keep the top 4 race quite interesting. It now puts a bit of a gap between Bendigo and the rest. You look, we were talking off air beforehand, Carrie, you look at the Flames on paper pre-season, you think this should be a team contending for top 4. Didn't quite work out sort of throughout their, well, it was pretty inconsistent throughout their first sort of 6-7 games, but they feel like, you know, the last couple of games, they've really found a rhythm.
Yeah, that they have, and what a great rhythm to go into the Christmas break with, get a little bit refreshed and then come back out. But they've certainly found form, and you know, part of that is on the back of last year's MVP, Kayla George. She's found it tonight. They've found some shooting form.
Bradley can't get it to go. George brings down the rebound, can't hit the 2 as well. It's still a big night on the stat sheet.
George and Froling having another little go at each other.
17 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds for Kayla George. Kelly Wilson will wind down the clock, but that has been an impressive second win on the trot for the Sydney Flames. They're right within striking distance of the top 4, and importantly as well, they take the split over the Spirit in this WNBL season. Sydney 79, Bendigo 67 on their home floor. The Sydney Flames claim a really important victory. A 12-point win for Guy Malloy's side. And this will give them some great momentum heading in, because we are essentially almost halfway through this WNBL season now, Carrie. This will give them some great momentum, these 2 games heading into the back end of their season.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got Madgen to add back in. Not sure what her return to play date is, but hopefully that's not in and out for her. That's unsettling for teams, but 2 massive wins for them, as you say. You know, it's almost separating now, the top 5 battling out for those 4 spots and the bottom 3. But anything can happen. You know, you can go on 3 or 4 game losing skids, as you can go on 3 or 4 game winning streaks. So it's still going to be an interesting run home to those finals post-Christmas.
Tess Madgen right in amongst it as well, but tonight it was Kayla George who stole the show. Her passing in particular in the first half was to die for. Blink and you would have missed those fast hands of Kayla George. But I think importantly for her own confidence as well, she really found form from quarter time onwards. She had 8 points in that second quarter, and she continued to get better from there.
Yeah, she did. We saw her wheel and deal down low and get those finishes that we know she can make. You know, she loves that short corner shot.
Yep.
She hit a couple of threes. You know, as you say, I mean, her feeding in that first half was exceptional. She hit back cutter after back cutter. Here, aggressive on the board, stayed in plays, and she looked like a woman possessed tonight.
Yeah.
She came out to make a point and helped her team to this massive win for the Sydney Flames.
And it's a stat line I think that we're probably more familiar to seeing, pushing triple-double all the time, Kayla George. She's a special player and, all sort of pushing hard towards another Olympics next year in Paris as well. So it's going to be fascinating to see how Kayla George goes for the rest of the season as we have a look at some of the highlights from that fourth quarter in particular. It was a fourth quarter dominated by Sydney, 17 points to 7. After half-time tonight, Carrie, Sydney outscored Bendigo 36 to 16. It was a dominant second half from the Flames.
Yeah, it was. Defensively, look, I thought they made some adjustments. They did a much better job at containing penetration. Having said that, Bendigo didn't go to that as much, but I think they tidied up their D. They dared Bendigo to shoot the three, and that dried up for Bendigo. I thought their intensity defensively was much better. And as we've mentioned many times tonight, the Kayla George of old was back.
Yeah.
And, as you say, pressing that triple-double type numbers, and that was a massive difference for them. And under duress, she got different things thrown at her. She had A-Frol on her. That was a physical contest. She had KG on her in the size of Ruth Davis. So it didn't come easy for her, but she found a way.
She certainly did. She was our player of the game tonight as we have a look at some of the key numbers overall in this clash between the Flames and the Spirit as well. So at halftime, I think it was 59% field goal for the Bendigo Spirit. It ended up at 40%, which just shows you the drop. And in particular, there was a big drop from a three-point perspective as well. But I suppose good signs as well from a Flames perspective that they've been able to back up good shooting 2 games in a row within 3 nights of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that came off the back of great execution.
Yep.
We saw their field goal percentage of 48. They got a lot of shots on the rim from back cuts alone. Their three-point shooting dipped a bit in that second half, but they'd been struggling to put the ball in the hoop in prior to these 2 games, and that'll be refreshing certainly for the coach, but for their team, a bit of a confidence boost. And
we can't forget, of course, about Lauren Nicholson's outstanding third quarter in particular. She has 20 points for the game, and it is the 5th time this season that Lauren has scored 20 or more points in a game. She's in some hot form. Well, speaking of hot, we've got some hot games still to come in the WNBL this weekend, round 8. As we tick towards Christmas, a big doubleheader tonight. Carrie's backing up for another doubleheader. All thoughts and prayers to Carrie. It's Perth and Southside, and then Townsville and Melbourne as well. Gosh, Melbourne in particular, Carrie, how much will they want to bounce back?
Yeah, and tough one. They've still got some players out. Townsville are red hot.
Oh, they are. 7 in a row, I think.
They're dominant. They're clearly the most dominant team in the league, sitting on top of the ladder, playing well, playing together. That's scary for Melbourne after Wednesday night loss to go up to Townsville. Yeah. But as we've said, in this competition, the WNBL, anything can happen on any night.
And we certainly saw that tonight. Bendigo led by as much as 10, but the Flames ended up winning by 12, a 22-point turnaround, and it was very convincing. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to you, Carrie Graff.